This is Marnie Marcus, and my guest today is Luz Sande, and she is a mentor for life and business, an NLP master coach, and timeline therapy master practitioner, and coach for navigating life's transitions, as well as weight loss and social and emotional intelligence. Personally guiding women toward their transformation into their best life, Luz is passionate about helping women live their success from their own personal formulas for freedom. So be sure and get the free awakening session that she has on this page. So thank you so much for letting me talk to you about these breakthrough patterns.
Oh, thank you, Marnie. It's an honor to be talking with you about these interesting patterns that I found in most of my women when I work in transformational processes. So thank you.
Yeah. So these are anti-breakthrough patterns. These are things that stop us, right?
Exactly. These are anti-breakthrough patterns. And this is a discovery that I made through working with women as a coach in transformational processes. And you probably wonder why an anti-breakthrough pattern. And I think maybe we can start with a definition of what an anti-breakthrough pattern is. Is that okay with you?
That would be good.
Okay, wonderful. So an anti-breakthrough pattern or anti-breakthrough patterns are repeated thoughts, emotions, and behaviors that keep a person from moving forward. And this can be from a simple goal that we want to achieve to a deep process of transformation. Whenever we want something and we have these patterns prevent us from either achieving the goal, from moving forward, from enjoying the journey, from trusting that we can get it. So these are the anti-breakthrough patterns, and they keep us stuck and they stop us from achieving what we want and prevent us from taking the action that we need to take in order to achieve a breakthrough. So that's why I call them the anti-breakthrough, because I found these patterns were recurrent, they were pervasive, they were common. I could find them over and over again in the women I've been working with throughout my years as a transformational coach.
Great. So what are some of these patterns?
Okay. The first one, let me do something, let me just be true to myself and let's have fun in this conversation. So let's see if you can guess the first one. The first one, let me do a gesture and see if you get it. The first one is the lip service pattern. Okay. You won't forget it. It's the lip service pattern. And why is it lip service? I found that sometimes women would speak and would go on and on about the fact that they wanted a transformation, that they needed this breakthrough about this topic, but they never did anything about it. No action, no decision, and as a consequence, no breakthrough. So that's why it's a lip service, because it's talking, ranting about a process and about a breakthrough that never came to be because they never did anything about it. That's the number one. That's one of the, I'm not saying them in any order. I'm just saying them as I'm remembering them. Okay?
Okay.
Any questions about this one?
So kind of all talk, no action, right?
Exactly. Big mouth. Yeah. Okay. Let's go to another one. And this one, in one of my programs, which is the Mindset to Make You Thin, this one is a very, very, very common one. And it's called the magic pill pattern. I remember at the beginning, I think it was in the first program that I ever led in the Mindset to Make You Thin, I had one woman come, and she came and did this, Let me show you. She came, she opened her arms wide, big time, wide, and she said, okay, here I am, transform me. And, so I'm honoring her in this pattern, because I called it the magic pill, because I said, I'm sorry, that's not the way it works. This pattern is when women expect the coach or the therapist or whoever is working with them to come to the rescue and to literally do the work for them, to give them a magic pill. Just, I want to come, I pay you and you just transform me. I want this, but please, pretty please don't make me work. So this is the magic pill pattern, and it's funny, but it's serious. It's serious at the same time, because it shows the illusion of having someone rescue you. There's one phrase that I use in my circles of transformation, and sometimes it's harsh, but I use it anyway, and it is, nobody will rescue you. There's no way anybody or I will rescue you. So this is the magic pill pattern. Anything about this?
No, it's very clear.
Okay. Now let's go into the comfort zone pattern. And this is when women want to stay within their comfort zone, when they never play full out. And they go halfway. Maybe they know that they could break through, and maybe they even have an idea what is needed, but still they don't take the steps. And if they do take some steps, as soon as they get some results, the urge subsides. There's a phrase, I don't remember it verbatim, but there is a quote by Napoleon Hill saying that opportunities come disguised as misfortunes, as blocks, as obstacles. I don't remember the exact words. And he says, and it's not that the opportunity itself is disguised. It is disguised through us because we are not able to see, because it means getting out of our comfort zone, doing something that is not nice, that we don't want to do. And it's exactly this. It is, nobody transforms within their comfort zone. So getting out of it is the key, one of the keys to a deep transformation. Are we okay so far?
We're good.
Okay, and now we have the Frank Sinatra pattern. Want to guess what it is?
What pattern again? Say that one again.
That's the Frank Sinatra. It's the My Way pattern. So, okay, the My Way pattern is when the person hires a coach, and so nobody can tell them that they're not doing something. They're doing something, and they're taking action, but they're not willing to relinquish control. They don't want to surrender. They want to do it their way. They can do something. They can take some of the steps that we as coaches lead them into, or they can do some things. They can take some action, but there are some things that they're not willing to go. There's some places they're not willing to go. There some things they're not willing to do, and they adapt whatever your process is to their style, and it just doesn't work like that. So this is the My Way pattern, and it is very common too. We as coaches sometimes say that the coachee or the client has to be coachable, and this is exactly the opposite. Then we have the perfect timing pattern, and as you can imagine, because you're an amazing coach, in this case, women are interested in breaking through, but they're really not. They're not committed. If something comes up, they're, I'm sorry, something came up, or, I'm too complicated. I have too many things going on. It's the end of the year. Oh, my son is getting married, or, whatever it is, they expect to find, the perfect time when everything is in pause, when nothing is going on. It's like life on pause. That's the moment when they really want to do the breakthrough. And of course, it never happens, because the perfect time is when we decide that the time has come. So this is the perfect timing pattern. Okay.
Life rarely pauses, does it?
Well, I always say that all the work that I do, all the programs that I lead are to to take while life is in movement. I mean, otherwise it's a context and it's not real. Life is always in movement, like you're saying, and it's useless to do something that you can only do when life is on a standstill. It's unrealistic and it just won't last. So this is the pattern for it. Then we have the I'm doing great dash positive avoidance pattern, and this is a pattern that has to do a lot with denial. Women focus on what they're doing right. So, I mean, it's wonderful that they're focusing on, this is great, I'm doing great. And it's wonderful, but they refuse to go beyond that. They refuse to really look at what else is going on and how to keep moving. So it's some form of denial. Is this clear?
So kind of like they want to stay in the comfort zone still. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Some of the patterns, they work together. I mean, almost many of them work together, and they're part of the same. One leads to another, and, and they flow together. So exactly what you say. Then we have I would say the love me tender. That would be the Elvis pattern, love me tender. Remember that song? You're from the South, so you should know it. So the love me tender pattern is when women just can't stand the truth. So at the first thing they hear that they don't like, they shut down, they offend. So the coach or whoever is working with her needs to walk on clouds so as not to hurt their volatile feelings. And of course, most of the transformations, of course, there are joyful moments in any process. I mean, it's amazing to discover oneself, and it's amazing to deactivate the patterns that stop us. But big work is done when we are uncovering the difficult parts, the parts that we don't want to see, the patterns that we have a hard time facing when we look at whatever challenges we have gone through in life. So there's no way that a transformation can take place without, getting your gloves on and digging deep. So love me tender doesn't work too much. Then we have the I'm different pattern. And this is a very common pattern as well. Women, in this case, women have convinced themselves, and they want to convince me, the coach or therapist, that, you got it. You achieved that. You were able to break through, but, not me. I'm different. My health is different, my upbringing is different, my country of birth is different, my skin tone is different, my family context is different. They always try to find something that justifies why they cannot achieve what they said they would want to achieve. So they're like trying to convince you that your case is special, or that woman, she achieved it because she had, I don't know, a godfather or whatever, the wind for her, but not in my case. So they've thought of all the reasons why they can't, and probably they will never succeed because they've equaled their past to their present and their future and to their afterlife. So, there's no way transformation can take place.
So it's kind of a victim mode, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. The victim mode. Yeah. Now we can go into the overwhelm. And this is, we as women, we lead so many roles that the overwhelm is quite frequent. And I found that in the overwhelm is very common in women who have a problem with food and with weight loss. They tend to do too much. That's frequent in my groups. And what happens is that they start the breakthrough process. They hire the coach, or they start working towards the goal that they want to achieve. And as soon as the going gets tough, they start adding new activities, new courses, new commitments, new anything. Going to more places, or I don't know, taking a trip. And so they get overwhelmed and they quit. So this one is another one that is it's very pervasive, and it's very tricky. It's subtle. It might be subtle for them. It's not for me, because it's become very, very evident, but it's a very common pattern as well.
You think they overwhelm themselves to kind of get out of it, have an excuse to get out of?
It's a pattern, yeah. It's a self-sabotaging pattern, yeah, absolutely. And then we have the last pattern. Actually, there are more, but these are the most pervasive, the ones that I've found the most, most commonly. The last one would be the last try pattern, and I'm sure that you've had this line many times where they tell you that that they're tired, that they tried everything. This happens a lot with breakthroughs that they've had a hard time breaking through. So they've tried different ways. So they decide to give you or your process or the work with you a last try. And when they tell me that, I say, not with me, because I know, first of all, that trying is a recipe for failure, because when you're trying, your energy is more towards the failing than towards the success. So they're almost doing it to prove that there's nothing they can do about it, that it just won't work. And actually, they're in for failure because it won't work. So these are the 10 anti-breakthrough patterns. So tell me what's on your mind.
Well, those were good. Those were interesting. I saw some of myself in some of those, and I saw some of the people that I work with in some of those. So especially the overwhelm one was kind of interesting. I think we do kind of put a lot on our plates so that we don't have to do whatever's coming up, don't have to deal with it. And I also like the part where you said that life doesn't pause, that you have to, really those transformations come while difficult things are happening, and you almost need the catalyst of a difficult situation to create the transition. Sometimes the transformation comes through the challenge.
Absolutely. Yes. And actually, in general, there's no push, life, when you're in your comfort zone, you don't feel the push to transform. So you need to be, many times, you need to really hit bottom in order to want to move out of that place, in order to feel better, or to even notice the contrast, to notice that this is not what I want for my life. There has to be something better for me than this. Or when you have faith, when you're a woman of faith, you know that God speaks to us through our dreams, through the deep longings of our heart, because that's the universe or God speaking. So we have to believe that whatever we really want is meant to be experienced. It's meant to be expressed. And so many times it is through hardship. Most of the times, actually, it is through hardship. Yeah.
Necessity is the mother of invention, right?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
So we talked about getting an awakening session with you. Tell us a little bit about that and how they can get that.
Okay, the awakening session is a free session in which we can together uncover what you want, what each woman wants, what's preventing them. We can look at the anti-breakthrough patterns, and we can also see what's going on, what's preventing them from achieving that goal, that objective that they want. Many times they don't know exactly what's going on. They know that they want to achieve something, but they don't know exactly what's preventing them. What would be the thing that I have to do? What would be the block that I need to dissolve or change or transform in order for me to get to where I want. And that's what we do in the Free Awakening session. It is a session where we talk about what's going on, where we uncover what's preventing them from achieving that and from transforming that problem, and we align with the solution. So it's a very, very deep, very fun. It's fun. It's deep. It's inspiring. It's transformational. It's a session where I am 100% present in order for a woman to achieve and get closer to what she wants. So it's an awakening. It's discovering that maybe the way you see the problem is exactly the problem, and you need to transform that with the guidance of somebody else, because many times we need the guidance of somebody else to achieve a breakthrough. And my signature process, which is called Record Time Transformation, is exactly that. It's a transformation that is deep, that is meaningful, that is fun, that is fast, and that is done in a period that would be almost unbearable, unthinkable, maybe in the past.
You know, I love what you said about sometimes the way we see the problem is the problem. One of the key things I do is like pray to help me see this through God's eyes, see this through another angle that I'm seeing it. And almost always that comes through working with someone else as a mentor or a trainer who helps me look at my problem from the outside. You can't see the picture inside the frame. So exactly. I would really encourage anybody listening to this to book one of these awakening sessions, because you want to be able to benefit from that other perspective that you just can't see. You know, the dentist can't work on his own teeth, you know. You've got to...
Exactly. I was going to say a similar example. You know, we can't, we need a mirror to look at our eyes and put on makeup, you know, exactly. So, yeah, and many times we keep repeating the definitions that we've included in our mind dictionary. We have our own dictionary of how we see life, what things mean to us. And the other day I was working with a woman, an amazing woman from Chile, and she was talking about resilience, and she was saying that evidently she didn't have the resilience to go through what she was going through, and what she discovered in the awakening session was that what she defined as resilience was the opposite of resilience. So she was saying something to herself that was making her feel, oh, I'm not resilient. I'm incapable of going through this. You know, I'm too weak. I'm just not enough. And she was not supposed to be. That was not resiliency. So she was in shock when, through the session, we started uncovering all the wrong definitions that were making her feel depressed, dark, and she couldn't get out of it. So yeah, exactly.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Luz. This has been great. Fascinating stuff.
Thank you, Marnie. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your interview. And just, you know, I promise that if you get to the Free Awakening session, you will leave inspired and renewed and with a new perspective on what's stopping you from achieving what you want. And that's what God wants for all of us, you know, to be an expression of what He wants us to be. And we can only do it through transformation and sometimes with the guidance of coaches and therapists. So thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.